Hey, everybody, it's Loan Officer Luke. Today, we're talking about FHA loans. Those are the loans that I always like to call them. It's the ones your grandma and grandpa used to do, right? That's the ones you always hear about. You know, when you go buy a house, say you're in your mid-20s right now, you go to buy a house, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa are going to say, oh, you need to get an FHA loan. That's what I did. There are pros and cons to FHA loans. The pros, they take a little bit of a lower credit score. You can sometimes go down to a 580 credit score with an FHA loan. Below 600 gets a little dicey. There's some exceptions you got to do, lots of paperwork, but you can get it done. Also, low down payment. You can do 3.5% down for an FHA loan. And again, with a lower credit score. And there's also grants out there and second mortgages you can get that'll actually pay that 3.5% down. So you're only bringing in your closing costs. But then with an FHA loan too, you can ask the seller to pay up to 6% of the purchase price of the house towards your closing costs. So FHA, if you do this right, you can bring in as little as 3.5% down, sometimes zero if you get the grant. All again, that grant's kind of based on income and credit score and stuff. There's details to it. But you get the seller concession, you're bringing in very, very little to buy your first house. FHA does have something called upfront PMI. It will get rolled into your loan amount. So it's a closing cost, but you're not taking it out of pocket. You buy a $100,000 house, you put your down payment, they add in a certain percent of your purchase price to the loan. And then it also has something called PMI or MIP. FHA is a fancy way of saying MIP. That is a fee because you're not putting 20% down. That is a monthly fee. It's 0.88% for FHA of your loan amount. $100,000 loan, you're paying $88 a month. Again, as the loan amount goes up, that goes up. FHA, that never drops off. As long as you have that FHA loan, you will be paying that monthly forever for 30 years if you do a 30-year loan. Even if you get 20% down in equity, doesn't matter. So normally you're looking to refi these FHA loans once your hot property value goes up, credit score goes up, just to get that MI away and get it lowered. So, another thing about FHA you have to remember when you're buying a house, the appraisals. They're a little bit pickier than the conventional loan. And you can see the conventional loan. We have a video for conventional loans. They're pickier. If you have a house that has chip paint on the side and it was built before 1978, they get worried about lead-based paint. You got to go in there, scrape it all up, clean up the chips, paint it before you close. That's FHA. Leaky basements, got to watch that. They don't want GFI outlets. I always like to talk about that. Like in your bathroom, you got to have the safety thing if water gets on it. These are all picky things with appraisals that you got to watch. So if you're going to build a house, if you're going to look at houses that have issues, paint, roof leaking, mold in the basement, repairs, that kind of stuff, like hardcore repairs, health and safety repairs, what we call them. You're going to have to talk to your lender and go over it with them, because if you put an FHA offer in, it gets accepted, the appraisal goes in, you are in for a very long loan and possibly not getting a loan because of the appraisal. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Love to help you about FHA, conventional, any of your lending needs. Loan Officer Luke, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and also subscribe to us on YouTube. We will see you guys all later. Thank you. Bye.